A lot of you guys might be thinking to yourselves, oh, Ivan's fallen off, he's not training as hard anymore, he's just doing these, singles that are very comfortable, training max, that kind of setup. He's not really training that hard, he's too busy. But the truth of the matter is I'm probably training harder than I have in a very, very long time. So the little time that I have when I'm not working is dedicated fully to training. So I'm not worrying about the whole YouTube game. Now that I know that I go to the hospital, do my shift, and I come home, and that's the end of that. I don't, slave away at the whole YouTube game for a long period of time in the hopes that I'm going to get some sort of money in return and justify me dropping the hours at the hospital. I'm not doing any of that. So I go to the hospital, I do my business over there, and then I come home and I think about training, and I train, and then I spend time with my family. So because of that, I feel like I'm training harder than I have in a very long time. So at the start of the year, at the end of last year, at the start of this year, I decided that this year was going to be about the secondary goals that I have, that I've always had, the push-ups, the pull-ups, the dips, all that kind of stuff, the calisthenics stuff. And I'm going hard at it. I'm going super hard at it. I'm enjoying it. I haven't benched and deadlifted for a while. I've squatted every day, but that's about it. I've been doing squats and good mornings on a consistent basis. Everything else is being push-ups, bodyweight squats like crazy. To give you an example, so yesterday I ended up doing 1,000 push-ups. Oh, my bad. The day before was 1,000 push-ups. Yesterday I did just 500 bodyweight squats, dispersed around, when I had time yesterday. So I've been doing that kind of volume. So 2 days ago I did 1,035 push-ups all up. So I basically did 45 down. So set of 45, set of 44, set of 43, all the way to 1. It took me all day. I'm not some, really good push-upper. But that's what I did. It took me a very long time to do it all. I ended up doing, I think, 5 or 6 sets in the morning, and then I did, a few sets, in the afternoon, in afternoon, and then the night, whatever. I dispersed it all the way throughout the day. The hardest portion is obviously the top sets, so the 6 or 7 sets at the top, the 45, the 44, the 43, that's a lot of work, a lot of pump in the chest and the arms. That was the first time I've ever managed to do 1,000 push-ups. I remember way back in the day, a colleague of mine, Neville, he might be listening to this actually. I remember we did a night shift once. It was a pretty good night. I don't want to say the Q word. The Q word is very much not allowed in the hospital. But I will say it here because a lot of you guys will be like, what the hell is the Q word? The Q word is quiet. It was a very quiet night. The reason why we never said that at work is because we jinx it and all of a sudden it turns to hell, and there's the red doors, the acute area is, overflowing with patients, and it just turns to hell when somebody says, oh, it's a really quiet night tonight. But anyway, I'm not at work right now, so I get to say it. So it was a very quiet night that night. And so we ended up doing a whole bunch of push-ups when we could, in the triage area and, wherever we were. And we did some push-ups then, and then, we kind of made a bet to each other. Let's do 1,000 push-ups, when we wake up after the night shift. And then we reported back to each other the following day, and we were like, no way. So I think I got to 500 or 600 push-ups, and I think he got to 750 or something like that. And he stopped because, simply he had a splitting headache, and that was absolutely killing him. And so he was worried about, blowing a vessel in his brain. And I stopped because I couldn't do a single damn push-up. My approach probably was too much, too hard, too quickly. But this 45, 44, 43, the down sets really kind of makes it all right, mentally and physically. Mentally, because the next day you go one less. Physically, as you're fatiguing, it's getting easier and easier. And so it's kind of it kind of motivates you as you go along to do it. So I've really loved that setup. And so much so that yesterday I decided to do that, type of setup with the bodyweight squats as well. I ended up getting 570 or 580. I can't remember exactly what I did. Oh yeah, that's right. That's what I did. 34 down, because I turned 34 yesterday. I went, let's do 34 down. So I did that, and it was, the first few sets I had a, good old pump, and then before I went to bed last night, I did some as well to finish it off. So it's kind of like greasing the groove, but not greasing the groove. Greasing the groove is basically 30 to 60% of your maximum repetitions. That's what you're doing each set multiple times throughout the day. I'm not exactly following that 30 to 60 rep range. 45 push-ups for me is quite a lot. You know, it's definitely more than 60%. So I'm working real hard with it, but it's good. You know, I'm really, you know, enjoying doing that. You know, it gives you a bit of a pump, which Greasing the Groove doesn't allow you to do. So you get a bit of a pump and you get a lot of work done. And as some of you guys have pointed out, I've been losing weight, man. I've been losing weight like nobody's business. And there's a few reasons for that, I think. The first reason, obviously, I'm doing a lot more work. You know, I don't care if you're squatting 250 kilos for 5x5. It does not compare to 500, 600, 700 push-ups of just body weight. You're simply not doing enough repetitions, enough volume to burn the calories that I'm burning, to make the disruption that I'm making in terms of metabolic changes. You know, I'm going through a shit ton of energy to get through 1,000 push-ups, or even worse, 1,000 squats, right? And so I'm doing a lot more work. That's the first thing. The second thing, which I think is very valuable in this setup, doing so many repetitions of calisthenics, is the fact that I'm skipping breakfast. So I wake up in the morning because I have so much freaking squats and push-ups to do that I get up in the morning and I knock off 6 or 7 sets, like I mentioned. And then when I've done that, I don't know about you guys, but I'll lose my appetite when I do that. Something about the core, something about the pump, whatever. I don't feel like eating. And so in the last week, I want to say 2 weeks, I've just basically been skipping breakfast. And so I've been breaking my fast. I've been having breakfast for lunch. So I'm essentially doing, you know, 14-hour fasts, if not more, every single day. And I'm putting shit ton of volume into these repetitions. And when you put those two things together, you have a recipe of weight loss. Now, weight loss, but I feel like I'm gaining muscle. So can you gain muscle and lose weight at the same time? I don't know what's going on, like in terms of the science side of it. You know, it's very hard to kind of imagine that. That concept is kind of very difficult to build muscle in a deficit. But I am calorie restricting right now. I think, I'm not counting it. I am eating a whole lot for lunch and dinner. So maybe I'm not even, you know, calorie restricting in a way. I'm just cramming all my calories in 2 meals. So I'm doing that, and I'm obviously doing a lot of work. And so what I'm feeling is, you know, I'm feeling a lot better. There's a better shape about me. I'm feeling a lot better. And so I see myself doing for a long time, man. You know, I have this goal of doing 100 push-ups by the end of the year in one single set. I don't know how many I can do right now. I can probably do, I would say I could do 60 right now. You know, I'm doing 45, 44, 43, 40, you know, I could probably do 60, you know, neat, you know, push-ups right now. Far away from the 100. But that's what I'm doing. The pull-ups and the dips I've taken completely off the table. I'm working on my push-ups for now, just doing these 1,000s. Basically, what I want to get to a stage where I'm doing 1,000 push-ups every other day. Now, it seems like crazy, right? But there's been, you know, lots of stories of guys in penitentiary, you know, in prison, who are doing 1,000 push-ups, 2,000 push-ups every single day. You know, you get the muscular endurance eventually. I know it sounds crazy, but you do. It works. You just have to kind of allow that change to happen within the muscle to be able to take that endurance. And so that's what I'm doing. Shit ton of volume. If I can do 1,000 push-ups every other day, I have a feeling that, you know, 100 push-ups is going to be on the horizon for me in one single set. So that's what I'm doing. So no, I'm not taking my foot to the accelerator. I'm just... Well, the phone just cut out. I was in the car and probably ran too hot. So it cut out. But what I'm saying is, no, I have not fallen off. I am training like crazy. It's just I'm not doing the YouTube thing like I was before. I go to the hospital, I do my stuff at the hospital, I come home and I spend time with the family and I train. I'm not slaving away, you know, 30 hours a week on the YouTube game and getting paid $1.50 for every 1,000 views. And you know, my videos are getting 5,000-6,000 views a video now, you know, and so I'm doing a lot of hours for something that's not giving anything back to me. And so I decided to you know, stop being a YouTuber as much and put my time somewhere else where I can provide for my family properly and not, you know, spend so much time on something that's giving me less than minimum wage. So yeah, the YouTube thing has changed in my life because you know, my hand was forced. But I am training like crazy. Just so you guys know, I know, you know, the shorts are not doing justice of what I'm actually about right now. But yes, I'm still training like crazy. It's just you're not seeing as much of me as before. So I'm not showing the push-ups, I'm not showing the dips, I'm not showing the pull-ups, you know, the bodyweight squats, the good mornings. All I'm really showing is the top end of squats. Yeah, I'm training hard, really, really hard. You know, chasing these 1,000 push-ups and probably even 1,000 squats eventually as well. So lots of work. So no, I haven't fallen off. I'm still working really hard, and I hope you guys that are listening to this, you guys are also working really hard. I think there's something really special also, something that I've kind of not felt properly in a while. Working really hard when nobody's watching. That's something also a beautiful thing. So I think a lot of you guys, obviously more than not, are training in that type of scenario where there's no eyes on you. It's just you and you. Nobody watching. I think that's a beautiful thing. That's an absolutely beautiful thing. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Oh, and another thing I almost forgot. 4, 5 or 6 days ago, last time I did a long format video where I explained the situation I was in, I got a whole bunch of people come on. Something like 6 or 7 people came onto the Patreon to support me, you know, in any way they could. So I just want to thank all of those guys. You guys know who you are. But Tanner Kelly signed up to that Feeling Poppy tier of the Patreon. So I just want to give a shout out to Tanner Kelly for doing that. Really means a lot to me, man. It's always an unreal feeling on my end when this happens, when I have people from all across the world reach out to me like that and actually support me like this to make this thing happen. You know, I don't like talking about money. I never like talking about the intricacies of the channel or whatever. You know, always I did it because out of love. But it's getting to a point where, you know, life, responsibilities, all of that stuff is getting in the way. So, you know, I can't do as much of the stuff that I love. But, you know, guys like you, man, Tanner Kelly, you know, you push me in the, you know, one step closer to making this a reality where this is a, you know, more and more of a possibility where I can, you know, put in more and more time into this. So appreciate you, appreciate all the other guys. You know, some of you guys might be wondering, why am I not saying other people's names? Because I want to respect people's wishes. You know, I made the 3 tiers because a lot of people that have reached out to support me wanted to stay anonymous. And, you know, previously I would say every single name that comes onto the Patreon. And a lot of people were saying, look, can you not do that? And so this is why I've made the tier system where I only say, you know, the top tier names, you know, so you can, you know, stay anonymous. It never occurred to me, but, you know, this is something that people expressed concern over. So thank you, Tanner. Thank you all the guys that did this. Appreciate all of you guys. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.